Welcome to the Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where every cup tells a story, and every story starts with a sip. Join us on a journey of adventure, camaraderie, and of course, the finest brews, served hot and steeped in mystery. From dragons to ancient legends, we're brewing up more than just coffee. Today's tale begins, not with a clash of steel or the roar of battle, but with the quiet creak of a saddle and the slow tread of a warhorse long off the field. At the crossroads where legends pause and coffee brews, a hero arrives not for glory, but perhaps for something far rarer. A moment of peace and the truth behind the stories they tell. But before we dive into today's adventure, a quick word from our sponsor.
Welcome, adventurers, to the Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where every cup is a quest, and every sip, a story. Start your day with the boldness of rogues rolling thunder, Guatemalan beans aged in whiskey barrels, delivering a brew as daring as a rogue's escapade. For those with a sweet tooth, Bard's-inspired hazelnut offers a harmonious fusion of rich hazelnut and decadent chocolate, reminiscent of a bard's sweet serenade. Not a coffee connoisseur? Our artisan teas, like the delicate moonlit jasmine or the comforting cider harvest, promise a journey through flavors both exotic and familiar. Craving something enchanting? Dreamspell Chai awaits, blending bold spices into a potion that stirs both body and soul. Join the Dungeon Brew crew and wear your passion proudly with our exclusive gear. Embark on your flavor adventure today at dungeonbrewcoffee.com. Dungeon Brew Coffee, brewing with initiative, rolling with life.
Now, grab your mug, settle in, and get ready for the next chapter in our brewing saga. Episode 32, Honor Worn and Weathered. The day ambled on like a stubborn mule. Quiet, steady, and mildly judgmental. A rare hush had settled over Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, too late for lunch, too early for pre-supper snacking, and just right for a nap no one was brave enough to take. Java was polishing mugs for the third time, Bradicus was not napping with his feet on the table, and Nived had just declared war on a slightly too ripe onion. And then came the sound of hooves. Not the jaunty clatter of a trader, nor the desperate gallop of a messenger. No, these hoof beats carried the rhythm of someone who had been traveling a long time, and who made the road yield to them, not the other way around.
Well, I'll be buttered and braided. Is that who I think it is?
Should I offer her a drink or bow? Or both? Bow with a drink?
Perhaps just don't spill it this time.
She was tall without being towering. Older than most warriors, younger than most legends. Her armor bore no shine, only scratches and quiet stories. A sword hung at her back, sheathed, but you could feel the weight of it across the room. She didn't speak right away. She looked around the tavern with a face like a wind-worn statue. And then, very faintly, she smirked.
Didn't think this place was real, thought it was a bard's fever dream. The tavern at the edge of every road, they said. Pity I'm not fond of bards.
Do you like hot cider? I can light it with my breath. Mild cinch, excellent nose feel.
If it doesn't come with a ballad, I'll take it.
You look like you could use a rest. And maybe something without alcohol, but with cinnamon.
There it was, less an arrival and more a moment of landing. Not with fanfare, but with the quiet thud of a traveler finally letting herself sit. Sirene Dawnsblade, once champion of the Emberfront, slayer of the Glass Hydra, walker of the Ashfall Marches, now seated awkwardly on a creaky stool, regarding a cup of cider like it might ask her questions.
This doesn't taste like battlefield rations, which already puts you ahead of most noble kitchens.
Rumor says you're on your way to the capital. Something about the Crimson Laurel? That's high praise.
Titles, medals, statues, means I survived longer than most and didn't embarrass anyone too important.
Sounds like a proper summary of every history book ever written.
The tavern eased into a thoughtful quiet. Not the uncomfortable kind. More like the hush before a fire is stoked, when even the embers are listening. Whatever had brought Sirene to this strange little way station of dragons, cats, and monks, she didn't look in a hurry to leave. And none of them, yet, knew just how much they'd see of themselves in the story she didn't tell. The light changed as the sun began its slow descent, golden rays painting the tavern in long shadows. It was the hour when the world gets quiet, and people start saying things they mean. Sirene Dawnsblade sat like someone used to being stared at and misunderstood. The cider helped. So did the absence of a lute.
Still no bard in the corner. This might be my favorite tavern already.
We had one once. He tried to rhyme beard with courage and ale with existential dread. Java chased him off with a spatula.
It was a big spatula. And he deserved it.
You've been walking a long time. You don't travel with a retinue?
Oh, I had one. Somewhere between Riverhold and the King's Ridge, they remembered they had better places to be, or shinier parades to catch.
So you are going to the ceremony?
I am. They say the Crimson Laurel is for heroes. People seem to think that means me, but they weren't there for the other parts.
The room didn't press her. Not right away. That's the secret of good company, letting silence breathe when it needs to.
Everyone loves a victory. No one likes the mess it took to earn it.
What kind of mess?
The kind that doesn't make a good song, like accidentally torching a wheat field to stop a raiding band, or giving the order to hold a bridge and losing half your squad when it collapsed anyway, or killing a war beast in front of a village only to learn it was sacred to them.
But you saved lives, right?
I did. I also ruined a few, and that's not something they'll put on a banner.
Sounds like they're honoring the story, not the person.
Exactly. They don't want me at court. They want the idea of me. A tall, tidy symbol of resilience they can stick on a balcony while the nobles drink too much wine.
The fire hissed quietly. Outside, the wind picked up, tugging at shutters that had been secure for years. Sirene looked around at them, not with the sharp gaze of a commander, but with something softer. Something wary. Curious, maybe.
But this place, it feels like the kind of spot where the world forgets to be loud for a while.
That's sort of the idea.
Here, you're just another soul between battles. Whether they're on fields or inside your own head.
Also, we have this. It's both comforting and dangerous. Like a well-armed grandma.
That is alarmingly accurate.
The thing about legends is, they rarely get to rest. They're marched out, dressed up, remembered selectively. But for tonight, Sirene Dawnsblade had cider, silence, and the company of those too honest to be impressed for the wrong reasons. And that, perhaps, was more heroic than anything in the capital. Some stories get shouted from balconies. Others slip into the world like tea into water, subtle, seeping, and much more lasting. As the night settled in, and the cider ran warm rather than hot, the questions turned from legend to lore. The personal kind.
So, what was your first battle like?
Chaotic, terrifying. I lost both boots in the first 5 minutes. One to mud, one to a very aggressive goose.
A goose?
Vicious thing. Honored it with a respectful nod after the fighting stopped. Still have a scar on my shin.
Vicious thing. So that's why you limp a little.
It's the goose, not the 3 shattered kneecaps. No.
Laughter slipped into the air like spice into stew, familiar, warm, and just slightly reckless. Somehow, in the flickering firelight and shifting shadows, the legendary Sirene Dawnsblade was less a name and a song, and more a person you might actually trust to hold your drink while you ran outside to stop your bread from burning.
Did you ever think of just walking away? From it all?
Every day. But the war never gave us breaks. And when peace finally came, I didn't know how to stop. It's hard to put your sword down when you're not sure who you are without it.
Most people don't realize it takes more strength to stand still than to charge.
Still learning that. I used to think silence was something to survive. Now, it feels like a gift I wasn't brave enough to ask for.
There was a beat of quiet, not heavy, not sad. Just full. The kind of silence that holds space for things words can't quite shape. And then, naturally.
So if we made a hot sauce and named it Crimson Laurel, do you think the royal court would sue us or just cry?
Depends. How many nobles do you want to cry?
I'd settle for one dramatic gasp and a faked fainting spell.
Or a bard's tongue getting numb mid-verse.
Oh no. You're encouraging them now.
And like that, the tide shifted, jokes mingling with memories, past mingling with present. Sirene didn't just rest that night, she lingered. Not for the cider. Not even for the peace. But because something about this strange little crossroads tavern reminded her of who she'd been before the stories began.
No parades, no trumpets, just warmth and misfits who see you instead of your shadow.
She wouldn't say it aloud. Not yet. But somewhere deep in her war-tempered bones, Sirene Dawnsblade was starting to think that maybe, just maybe, this was a place worth coming back to. Morning came the way it always does here at the crossroads, slow and curious. The fire had dimmed to coals, and the only proof of last night's laughter was an overturned spoon, a half-empty jar of jam, and a pair of boots drying near the hearth. Sirene Dawnsblade was already saddled up before the sun made it over the treetops.
You don't have to rush. We make a pretty mean breakfast.
If I stay for breakfast, I'll stay for second breakfast, then lunch. Then I'll forget what time the ceremony starts.
That wouldn't be the worst thing.
We made you something. For the road.
It's a jar of my new blend, smoked ghost pepper, fermented garlic, and something I won't name out loud in front of polite company.
He means cinnamon.
It's spicy cinnamon.
And what's in this cloth? A flask?
We call it Honor's Edge. Coffee. With bite. Brewed slow. Keeps you awake during royal nonsense.
I'll toast with it on the balcony, right before I insult someone too wealthy to understand metaphors.
She strapped the gifts to her saddle with the ease of someone used to carrying heavy things, but her hand lingered for a moment too long on the flask. As if the weight of it wasn't just physical.
You don't have to carry it all, you know. The stories. The shadows.
No, but sometimes it helps knowing there's a place to set them down, even for a night. You're doing something here. More than coffee. Most people don't notice the quiet between quests, but you've made a whole world out of it.
We try. One cup and one strange traveler at a time.
And then, with the sun peeking over the edge of the trees and the scent of cinnamon still clinging to her armor, Sirene Dawnsblade rode off toward the capital. Toward parades and polished speeches. But she didn't leave empty-handed. Not really. She carried a flask, a jar, and, maybe more importantly, a story no bard would ever sing. That even legends need rest. And even heroes need to be seen.
Do you think she'll come back?
If she survives the Noble's buffet, she might run back.
We'll keep the hearth warm, just in case.
She's already left something behind.
And in a tavern built at the edge of the world, where silence is sacred, and laughter lives beside scars. That was more than enough. The fire is low, the mugs are empty, and tonight's tale has come to an end. But the journey is far from over. Thank you for gathering with us at Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where adventure brews with every sip. Join us next time as new challenges arise, mysteries deepen, and the magic of the tavern unfolds. If you enjoyed this taste of adventure, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode. We'll save a seat for you at the tavern. See you soon.